You didn't come this far just to scroll past your purpose. You didn't wake up today to check your notifications before checking in with yourself. But let's be honest, you've been distracted. Haven't you? One minute you're on fire, you've got a goal, a plan, momentum. The next, you're lost in someone else's life, someone else's drama, someone else's highlight reel. You keep saying, I'll get back on track tomorrow. But tomorrow keeps running off without you. You know what's worse than failure? Forgetting why you even started. Forgetting what it felt like when you made that decision. The one that lit a fire in your gut. The one that had you waking up early, staying up late, showing up even when no one saw you. But something happened, didn't it? Life got loud. Your focus got hijacked. And slowly, without even realizing it, your urgency faded. Your vision blurred. And comfort became your new routine. Let me ask you something. When did you start negotiating with your mission? When did it become okay to delay the dream? When did you stop fighting for the version of you that started this? Because right now, this moment, this is the line. The line between staying distracted or waking the hell up. You don't need more time. You need clarity. You don't need more motivation. You need reminders. You need to remember who you were the day you said enough is enough. You need to remember the promise you made to yourself when no one else was watching. You've got a storm of potential buried under a fog of distractions, and the only person who can clear it is you. So if you're ready to cut the noise, lock in, and finish what you started, then let's begin. Distraction doesn't knock on the door with a warning. It slips in quietly, dressed like entertainment, disguised as productivity, cloaked in comfort. It doesn't feel dangerous. It feels small. Just 5 more minutes scrolling, just one more episode, just a quick check of your phone. But over time, it erodes your discipline. It robs you of momentum. And by the time you realize it, the day's gone, the week's gone, the year's gone. Your goals didn't vanish overnight. They were slowly drowned in a sea of distractions. You didn't start your journey to be average. You didn't set your goal just to abandon it halfway. But distraction is clever. It doesn't attack your goal head on. It attacks your focus. And if it can steal your focus, it can steal your future. Distraction is seductive. It gives you an excuse to delay the hard things. You avoid that tough conversation, that workout, that business plan, not because you're lazy, but because distraction offers you a softer option, an easier escape. You tell yourself you'll come back to it later. You'll get serious tomorrow. But deep down, you know later is code for never, and tomorrow is just a hiding place for fear. The world we live in is engineered to pull you away from yourself. Every beep, buzz, banner, and alert is fighting for your mind. You are being trained, yes, trained to consume, react, and drift. And the longer you stay distracted, the harder it becomes to remember what focus even felt like. You become addicted to motion without progress. You feel busy, but nothing changes. You're working, but nothing's moving forward. And that's how dreams die now. Not through failure, but through forgetting. You didn't forget what you wanted. You forgot to keep it in front of you. You stopped protecting your mental space. You stopped guarding your time like it mattered. You let distraction rent space in your mind without charging it a price. And now your vision is fogged up with things that don't even belong to you. Other people's opinions, other people's timelines, other people's noise. Let me be blunt. You don't need a better plan. You need better protection of your focus. You need to cut off the things that pull you away from your purpose, even if they feel harmless, even if everyone around you is doing them, even if it's entertaining, because anything that pulls you away from becoming who you're meant to be is not harmless. Think about how many hours you've given away, hours you could have used to write that book, launch that business, build that body, fix that relationship, learn that skill. And for what? A dopamine hit, a moment of escape. You deserve more than that. You started with fire. You had clarity. You had hunger. But distraction stole the fuel. And now you're left wondering why you feel stuck. You want your life back? Take your attention back? Start by asking yourself one question. Every day, does this get me closer to my goal? Or does it pull me further from it? If it's the latter, cut it, eliminate it, walk away from it. And if you can't walk away, build a system so it can't reach you. You need to treat your focus like it's oxygen. because it is. Without it, your dreams suffocate, your creativity dries up, your discipline collapses. Nothing thrives in a mind that's constantly being hijacked. Start rebuilding your focus like a muscle. Turn off the noise. Schedule your time like it matters. Set boundaries with people who drain you. Delete the apps that eat your hours. Stop letting your phone have more access to your mind than your own vision does. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. This is not about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about being intentional. You are not powerless in this. You're not a victim to the distractions. You're just out of practice. And that's okay. Today is your reset. Today is your wake-up call. Because every time you give in to distraction, you're choosing temporary comfort over permanent growth. And deep down, you know that's not who you are. You were built for more. You're capable of more. But you'll never reach it if you keep allowing the noise to lead you. So today, get ruthless about your focus. Be unapologetic about your goals. Remember what you started and start showing up like it matters again, because it does. The world isn't waiting for you. Time isn't pausing for you to get your act together. The clock is moving, and every second you're distracted is a second you'll never get back. You know what happens when you reclaim your focus? You remember your power, you feel your momentum again. You stop settling and start building. And when you do that consistently, day after day, the results stop being a dream. They become your reality. So let the distractions come, but don't let them win. You've got something bigger to build. And it starts by choosing focus over noise. Every single time, when everything around you is chaos, when the plan falls apart, when you're tired, doubting yourself, and wondering if any of it is even worth it, that's when your why becomes everything. Your why is your anchor. It's the reason you got in the fight to begin with. It's the part of you that refuses to quit, even when quitting looks easier. But here's the truth most people avoid. When you lose sight of your why, you lose your direction, your discipline, and eventually your drive. People talk about motivation like it's this magical energy that just shows up when you need it. But motivation fades. It burns out. It's not reliable. Some days you won't feel like showing up. You won't feel excited. You'll feel exhausted. That's when your why has to speak louder than your feelings. Because your why isn't emotional. It's foundational. It's rooted in purpose, not mood. And purpose doesn't disappear on the hard days. It reveals itself. So many people start strong, and then life hits. The goal gets hard. Progress slows down. Results don't show up fast enough. And instead of adjusting their strategy, they question the whole mission. They say things like, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I'm not cut out for this. But the truth is, they didn't fall because they weren't good enough. They fell because they let go of their why. Your why is your compass. It keeps you aligned. It keeps your effort aimed in the right direction. Without it, you'll chase goals for approval. You'll perform for applause. You'll grind yourself into the ground, trying to prove something to people who don't even matter. That's a dangerous place to live. That's how burnout is born, not from hard work, but from meaningless work. Think about the day you started this journey. Whatever your this is, you had something inside you that said, this matters. Maybe it was a dream you had since you were a kid. Maybe it was a commitment to your family, a desire to change your life, to break a cycle, prove to yourself that you could. That feeling, that fire is your why. It's not a slogan. It's not a hashtag. It's the truth of who you are and what you're fighting for. When you lose that connection, everything becomes harder. You'll start forcing yourself to show up, dragging yourself through the motions. You'll feel lost. You'll compare yourself to people on a completely different path. You'll get distracted. You'll burn out, not because you're weak, but because you forgot what you're doing this for. That's why you must protect your why. You must revisit it often, write it down, speak it out loud, surround yourself with reminders. Put it in your environment, your schedule, your rituals. When your why is close, your focus sharpens. You stop entertaining distractions. You stop negotiating with your standards. You move differently because you remember what's at stake. And let's be real, sometimes you'll want to walk away. That's human, but that's when your why pulls you back in. It reminds you that this isn't just about you. Maybe your why is about being a role model. Maybe it's about giving your kids a life you never had. Maybe it's about proving to the younger version of yourself that you didn't come this far just to settle. Whatever it is, let it hold you down when the storms come, and they will come. There will be seasons of doubt. There will be rejection, delays, frustrations, failures. And in those moments, your why won't remove the pain, but it will give the pain purpose. You'll start to realize you're not just suffering, you're building, you're not just working, you're becoming, and that mindset shift changes everything. Your why also holds you accountable. It becomes the standard when distractions show up. You ask, does this align with my why? When you're tempted to quit, you ask, will quitting honor my why? When you feel like no one's watching you, remember, my why still is. You can't fake purpose. People can feel when you're aligned. You walk with more certainty. You speak with more conviction. You stop chasing trends and start building legacy. That's the power of a deeply rooted why. It gives your journey meaning. It gives your setbacks context. It turns your hustle into something holy. So don't let go of it. Don't trade it for comfort. Don't forget it in the chaos. Don't bury it under distractions. Go back to it. Strengthen it. Let it fuel your decisions. Let it shape your discipline. Let it remind you, especially on the hard days, that this isn't just about success. It's about significance. You're not here to go through the motions. You're here to live on purpose. And that starts by remembering why you started. Hold on to it. Because when the emotions fade, when the motivation dies, and when you're standing alone wondering if it's even worth it, your why will be the voice in your head that says, get up, refocus. We're not done yet. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you are teaching the world how to treat you. You are setting the tone, not with your words, but with what you tolerate, what you allow, what you excuse, what you accept in silence. That is what will continue, not because people don't know better, but because they know they can get away with it. It's not just about people, though. It's about you. It's about the habits you keep brushing off, the standards you keep lowering, the boundaries you keep moving, just to keep the peace. Every time you let something slide, every time you say, it's not a big deal, or next time I'll say something, you train yourself to become smaller. And before you know it, your life no longer feels like your own. It feels like a negotiation. You don't drift into greatness. You drift into mediocrity. Excellence requires intention. And so does self-respect. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you accept. If you accept disrespect, it will continue. If you accept procrastination, it will continue. If you accept low standards, broken promises, weak boundaries, and empty effort, guess what? It will all continue. Not because you're not capable of more, but because you're silently giving permission for less. The moment you stop allowing it, the moment you interrupt the cycle, that's when change begins. But that takes courage. It takes honesty. It takes looking in the mirror and admitting, I've been the one letting this happen. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But it's also the most powerful one, because it means you're not helpless. You're in charge. Every excuse you make becomes a brick in the wall between you and the life you want. And those excuses come dressed up in really pretty lies. I'm just being patient. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's just not the right time. No, what's really happening is you're betraying your standards because enforcing them feels uncomfortable. Let me be clear. Comfort is not your friend when you're trying to evolve. Comfort is the trap that keeps you stuck. Growth demands discomfort. It demands you start saying no. Even if your voice shakes, it demands you start protecting your peace like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. The life you want, it can't exist in the same space where you allow everything that contradicts it. And this isn't just about protecting yourself from others. It's about protecting yourself, from the lazy habits, the shortcuts, the compromise. You can't keep hitting snooze on your potential and expect to wake up to success. You can't keep abandoning discipline and expect to land on excellence. You can't keep breaking promises to yourself and expect confidence to magically show up. Here's the truth. What you allow in your life is what will dominate your life. If you allow chaos, you'll live in it. If you allow toxic people, you'll absorb their energy. If you allow excuses, you'll never build discipline. If you allow indecision, you'll always feel stuck. You don't rise by accident. You rise by choice. Daily, consistent, sometimes painful choice. And sometimes choosing better means walking away from what's familiar. That job, that relationship, that environment, that old identity. It means choosing discomfort now for dignity later. It means choosing alignment over approval. It means no longer settling just because it's safe. Because safe doesn't always mean good. Sometimes safe is the most dangerous place to be because it keeps you small, silent, and stuck. Deep down what you've been allowing, where you've been shrinking, where you've been pretending it's okay when it's not. You don't need another motivational quote. You need a wake-up call. This is it. Stop allowing what drains you. Stop allowing what distracts you. Stop allowing behavior from others that breaks you. Stop allowing your own potential to be buried under excuses. Start requiring more from yourself, from your habits, from your circle. Raise the standard and let people rise or fall accordingly. The right ones will rise. The wrong ones will walk. And that's their decision, not your loss. You were not built to live a watered-down version of your life. You were not built to tolerate your own silence, your own hesitation, your own shrinking. You were built to rise, to decide, to draw the line and say, this ends with me. Because once you make the decision to stop allowing anything less than what aligns with your purpose, your life will begin to shift. It won't be easy. It will require hard conversations, boundaries, isolation, maybe even some heartbreak, but that's the price of living in your truth. That's the price of stepping into your power. Don't be surprised when people react to the new you, the one who doesn't tolerate disrespect, the one who says no without explaining, the one who chooses growth over comfort. That's okay. Let them adjust. Let them misunderstand. What matters most is that you don't return to who you had to be to make others comfortable. You are the gatekeeper of your life, and every single day you get to choose what stays, what goes, what grows. Decide wisely. Because what you allow is not just what will continue, it's what will define you. Pain is an inevitable part of growth. You can't escape it, you can't run from it, and you certainly can't numb it forever. Whether it's the pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment, you will feel something. But here's the truth. Pain is temporary. It passes. It fades. It transforms. Regret, though, that lingers. It plants itself deep inside you and whispers every time you pause. What if you had just tried a little harder? What if you didn't give up so soon? See, pain has a purpose. It sharpens you. It teaches you. It pushes you past limits you didn't even know you had. But regret, it paralyzes. It haunts. Because regret is not about what happened to you. It's about what you let happen, what you chose not to fight for, what you talked yourself out of, what you convinced yourself could wait for later, only to find out later never came. You'll never regret working hard. You'll never regret being disciplined. You'll never regret showing up day after day, even when it hurt. But you will regret every single excuse you made, every time you listened to the voice in your head that said, take it easy when your heart was screaming, keep going. You will regret quitting on yourself because it was inconvenient to keep going. You've got to start asking yourself, how much is my future worth? Is it worth some discomfort today? Is it worth sacrificing comfort for purpose? Because the version of you 5 years from now is going to look back on this moment and they're either going to thank you or resent you. They're either going to say, I'm here because of the hard decisions you made, or they're going to say, you knew better. You had the chance and you wasted it. You can't go back in time. You can't undo a missed opportunity, but you can make sure you don't repeat that same mistake. You can't erase regret that's already there, but you can refuse to add to it. The pain of pushing through is sharp, but brief. The pain of staying stuck is quiet, but endless. And don't confuse comfort with peace. A lot of people are stuck in comfortable misery. They're not in pain, but they're not alive either. They're not failing, but they're not winning. They're coasting. They've accepted fine as their fate. But fine is not why you were put here. You were made for greatness, for purpose, for meaning. That comes with a cost. But every bit of that cost is paid in temporary discomfort, not in lifelong regret. Think about the times you didn't follow through. The times you let fear or fatigue or frustration How long did that pain of effort last? Maybe a week, a day, a moment. But how long did the regret last? You still feel it, still carry it. That tells you everything you need to know. Pain tells you you're alive. It tells you you're growing. When it hurts, it means you're doing something real, something that matters. It means you're not numbing out, not tapping out, not watching your life through a screen. It means you're showing up for yourself fully. But every time you avoid that pain, every time you back away from effort, you add another weight to your future, a heavier burden than any workout, any rejection, any failure. Because regret isn't just emotional. It physically weighs you down. It keeps you up at night. It eats away at your confidence. And worst of all, it trains you to expect less from yourself. It tells you, this is just who you are now. Someone who almost got there. Someone who almost became who they were meant to be. But you're not here to be you're not here to flirt with your potential. You're here to become it, to live it, to embody it. That means it's going to hurt sometimes. That means it's going to stretch you. It means you're going to feel resistance. And that's okay. That's what growth looks like. Every champion, every leader, every person who's built anything worth remembering has walked through pain. But what they didn't do was stop there. They used the pain as fuel, not as a reason to retreat. So the next time it gets hard, and it will, ask yourself, would I rather feel this temporary pain right now or carry the weight of regret for the rest of my life? That choice alone can change everything, because one pain builds you, the other breaks you slowly.
No one is immune to pain.
But the ones who rise are the ones who choose their pain wisely. They'd rather feel tired than feel ashamed. They'd rather feel sore than feel stuck. They'd rather walk through fire now than live in the ashes of what could have been. You're stronger than you think. And the pain you feel today, it's nothing compared to the pride you'll feel when you look back and realize you didn't quit. You didn't settle. You didn't take the easy way out. Because when you get to the other side, and you will, you'll realize that the pain didn't last. But the pride, that lasts forever. As long as you're still breathing, your story isn't over. That breath in your lungs, that's proof you still have a fight to win, a purpose to fulfill, a mountain to climb. But somewhere along the way, you might have started to believe that time had run out, that you missed your shot, that because things didn't go the way you expected, it means it's over. That couldn't be further from the truth. You are not finished just because you feel tired. You are not done just because life knocks you down harder than you thought you could take. You are not over just because people stop believing in you or you stop believing in yourself. Life is not a straight line. It's not predictable. It doesn't reward the comfortable or the lucky. It rewards the relentless. And as long as you're still breathing, you still have everything you need to rise again. Maybe you've had failure. Good. That means you were trying. That means you put yourself out there. Maybe you feel like you've lost your way. Maybe the goal that once burned in your chest now feels distant and out of reach. But that doesn't mean it's gone. That means it's buried under layers of noise, pain, and distraction. It means your job now is to dig deep, and remember who you were before the world got loud. You've got to understand that there's a version of you that you haven't even met yet. A version of you that has grown through this storm. A version that's been built, not broken by what you've been through. But that version doesn't show up by accident. You summon it through intention, through grit, through choosing to keep moving when everything in you says stop. There's someone out there right now living a life you've dreamed about. Not because they're better than you, not because they had it easier, but because they kept going. They didn't let the past define them. They didn't let doubt win. They heard the same voices you hear. You're not good enough. It's too late. No one cares. And they answered with action. They answered with fire. That's what you've got to do. You might be bruised, but you're not broken. You might be weary, but you are not weak. You're still here, and that means you've still got work to do. You've still got something inside you worth fighting for. And don't you dare let temporary defeat convince you that your purpose is canceled. Think of all the people who quit right before the breakthrough, who walked away right before the tide turned. That won't be you. Not this time, not now, because this moment, this is your restart. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. The moment you decide to stop sitting in the ashes and start building again, The moment you decide that the story isn't going to end with almost or what if, it's going to end with I did, I overcame, I rose. You don't need everything figured out right now. You just need to decide that you're not done. You need to make one powerful choice, and that's to keep breathing with intention. Keep showing up with purpose. Even if it's messy, even if it's slow, even if no one's clapping for you yet, because you're not doing this for applause. You're doing it because something in you refuses to die quietly. Every breath is a chance to move 1 inch closer, a chance to rewrite your narrative, a chance to become who you were born to be. And if you're still breathing, you still have that chance. You still have that power. Don't waste it. You've already survived so much, more than most people even know. You've fought through nights that tried to break you. You've carried pain that would have crushed someone else. You're not weak, you're warrior wired. You're still breathing, because life isn't done using you. Because your mission isn't over. Because there's someone out there who needs to see you rise so they know they can rise too. So today, stand up, even if your legs shake. Speak up, even if your voice cracks. Move, even if it's just one step. Just don't stop. Don't sit in the shadow of your own potential when the light is still burning inside you. You're still breathing. You're not done. And the next chapter, if you have the courage to write it, might just be the most powerful one yet. You've come too far to let distraction, fear, or fatigue write your ending. You started this journey for a reason. You had a vision, raw, honest, and real. It lit something in you, something the world couldn't give you and can never take away. And somewhere along the way, you got hit, got discouraged, got distracted. That's okay. You're human, but what's not okay is staying stuck there. The world will try to convince you that quitting is easier, that giving up is more convenient, but deep down, you know something they don't. You're not built to quit. You're not wired to settle. That fire in you, it wasn't a phase, it was your calling. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need a perfect plan to get back on track. You just need one thing, the decision to remember why you started and to finish it no matter what. So let this be your line in the sand. No more wandering, no more numbing, no more delaying your greatness. You've got the breath, you've got the heartbeat. Now bring the focus, bring the discipline, bring the fire. The world hasn't seen your best yet, but it will, because you're not done. And now it's time to finish what you started.